Can Supermicro computer recover to $40? And if it reaches 40, could $50 be next? Right now, SMCI is trading around the low $30 range. That means $40 would give us roughly 27% upside. $50 would be around 60% upside. And 60, that would be close to a 90% move from around $31. Sounds exciting? But can SMCI actually justify those targets? Let's look at the bullish side. Supermicro is a major player in AI infrastructure. The company provides servers and systems used in data centers. And with AI demand growing, companies need more computing power, more servers, and more infrastructure. But here's the number that really caught my attention. Supermicro recently reported more than $60 billion in new orders in its preliminary fiscal 2026 fourth quarter update. Now remember, $60 billion in orders does not mean $60 billion in revenue. Those orders still have to be delivered and converted into actual sales. But it does show something important. AI infrastructure demand is still very strong. And there's another interesting development, margins. Supermicro estimated fourth quarter gross margin around 15% to 17%, compared with previous guidance around 8.2% to 8.4%. If that improvement is confirmed, it could be a big deal for investors, because now we're not just talking about revenue, we're talking about profitability. But here's the twist. If everything looks this bullish, why isn't SMCI already at $50 or $60? But now let's talk about $50. Can SMCI actually get there? In my opinion, yes, it's possible. But I don't think one strong quarter is enough. For $50, I want to see consistent revenue growth, strong margins, continued AI demand, and improving cash flow. Because orders are great. But eventually, those orders have to become revenue, and revenue has to become profit. That's where SMCI needs to prove itself. There are also risks. AI spending could slow down. Competition could pressure margins. And if SMCI struggles to execute its huge order pipeline, the stock could easily fall again. That's why I wouldn't buy the stock simply because everyone is talking about AI. Now here's my view. If SMCI gets to $40 and the fundamentals continue improving, I think $50 becomes much more realistic. But $60, that's a completely different story. A move from around $31 to $60 would nearly double the stock. So what would need to happen? Strong AI demand, higher margins, huge orders converting into revenue, and better investor confidence. If all of that happens, 60 isn't impossible. But I wouldn't call it my base case. So here's my final SMCI prediction. Let's keep it simple. My bearish case, $25 to $30. If AI demand weakens, margins disappoint, or execution becomes a problem, SMCI could easily come under pressure. My base case, $40 to $45. This is the range I personally think is the most realistic if the company delivers solid earnings and maintains strong AI demand. And then we have my bullish case, $50 to $60. But I want to be very clear. I don't think SMCI reaches $60 just because AI is popular. I need to see the numbers. Revenue growth, margins, orders, execution, and cash flow. If those continue improving, then $50 becomes very possible. And if the company successfully converts its huge order pipeline into sustained revenue and earnings, then $60 becomes a realistic bullish target. But if you force me to choose one target right now, I'd go with $40 to $45 first. That's my base case range. $50 is possible. $60 is my high-end bullish scenario. Now I want to hear from you. What's your SMCI target? 40? 50? Or do you believe SMCI can actually reach $60? And if SMCI hits 40, would you take profits or hold for $50? Tell me in the comments. And if you want my next SMCI update after the latest earnings and guidance, subscribe to the channel, because that's when we'll know whether this is a real recovery or just another temporary rally. This is my personal analysis, not financial advice. Always do your own research before investing.